Today I want to show you how this little tablet has supercharged my orchestral writing workflow. I'm hoping to get you inspired to create a similar setup that will save you time and make the composition process both much smoother and more fun. Let's get straight into it. I have here in Cubase the beginning of an orchestral piece, which is actually a soundtrack for a little video that I found online. Let's watch the video without the music first, and then I'll show you where I'm at. So we've got this scenery, like from a fantasy scene of some sort. These weird clocks going on. And yeah, that's it. Now let's listen to what I've come up with up till now. That's what I have written so far. I will now continue writing live with you guys and show you how this tablet helps me along the way. Now I'm thinking, let's listen to it a minute. I'm thinking to add maybe a cello to this bass that's giving the main movement right now. This is the bass. Maybe a cello line that will give us some more movement together with the bass. We'll try to make something. Wrong articulation. That's better. By the way, I just changed the key switches with my little keyboard here on the side. If you haven't watched, I have a whole video showing my workflow with key switches. Let's turn on the metronome. I like the bottom one better. Okay, now I will use the handy little retrospective record, and I've got this recording here. So I have a number of issues with this recording. The timing is off, as we can plainly see. It's not exactly on the grid. That will obviously get fixed if I just press Q and quantize. Okay, that went okay, I think. Let's make sure. Yeah, I think we're okay here. I had to zoom in because sometimes quantizing actually takes me the wrong way, especially in this kind of a situation where my quantized value is 16th notes and the phrase is in 8th notes. This guy, for instance, if I would have played it just a teeny bit earlier, now if I press Q, you see it's on the second 16th note instead of in the place where it should be, which is here. All right. So that's why I went and zoomed in to make sure everything's all right after I pressed Q. Spoiler alert, this little tablet will make all of this work super easy and even redundant. So let's now press Q again. And here I see a little issue that might be a problem because I played a little before the grid and this one came a little late. Now, when I press Q, they both go together and they overlap a little bit. I'm not sure it'll be a problem with this specific patch, but in many cases, especially with piano, if you have these overlapping notes, the second note just cuts off the sound of the first note and it sounds awful. So what is the solution? I have to go here and now it should be fine. Specifically, I think it would have been fine here also without, because this spiccato patch is so short, it wouldn't have made a difference. But as I said, with piano, for instance, this would have been a big deal. Okay, now what about velocity? I see here that the velocity is kind of all over the place. Let's listen to this performance. Okay, it's almost there, but I've got these few, especially this guy stands out, that is too quiet. So I would have to either manually make it louder or select everything and compress it a little bit or something, make it a little louder. I don't know, not bad, but maybe I'd make it even louder. More or less like that. I would have to tweak these even more probably to get to sound the way I would want it to sound. Let's try this. Yeah, something like that. I will soon show you how the tablet will make this even faster. By the way, another way to address the quantize issue where my notes might go to the wrong place because I had the quantize on the wrong value is to just change the quantize value. So what I could do is just go up here and move to eighth notes. And then pressing quantize will always bring me to the correct part of the grid. And getting a note to the wrong place in the grid would be a much rarer event because I'd have to play really sloppily for that to happen. So now that we've seen how I would write a little inner part in this orchestral mockup, I want to show you how my tablet makes a ton of these tasks way faster and easier. I will delete this performance, and the first thing I'll do is use the tablet to give me the correct quantize value. Right now I'm already on eighth notes, but say I were on 16th, I can just press this button here and voila, I have changed the value to eighth notes. I can do whatever one I want. So this is the first thing I would do. Second thing I would do is, in order to completely avoid the need to quantize, I can turn on auto quantize. You've got this little button down here in Cubase. When you activate auto quantize, it causes any MIDI input that you record to automatically shift to the closest grid line according to your quantize value. So this means that every note I'd play would go to the closest eighth note, and I would not need to do any quantization. If you're thinking to yourselves, I don't want my performance to be hard quantized, I hear you. But as I showed in a previous video of mine, this is not the case when using good sample libraries, as each sample has a little variation baked into the sample itself. To the best of my knowledge, all pro composers hard quantize all of their MIDI. For this reason, this also lets you export a score that looks much cleaner without having to make any kind of manipulations. Let's play in that cello line. So I will press the auto quantize button to make this work. And now when I start recording, okay, let's see what we've got. Everything is perfectly aligned to the grid. Now, what about the velocity issue? I have these velocities here on my tablet programmed in so that in a click of a button, bam, they are all the same velocity. Better way would be this way. Now, all I've got to do is pick these guys. I'm using Control, but I can see where I've got these lower notes. That's where I want a stronger velocity. Boom, let's listen to this. Isn't that amazing? This time we didn't have any note overlap, but say I would make this guy overlap here. I could just select these two and press delete overlaps. Trying to zoom in as much as I can here so you guys can see what happened. It was like this. Look carefully right here at the seam between these two notes. I'll press delete overlaps again. Did you see that little movement right there? That shortened this note to end where this note starts without any overlap. As I said, with piano and perhaps other instruments, this would be very, very important. Another thing that happens to me a lot when I am composing is that I want to copy and paste a part that I've written for the whole orchestra. How do you do that? So Cubase has a function called global copy, which means if I would select a range like this and I would go to global copy, which is, where is that? Edit, range, global copy. And now I put the cursor here and Control V, bam, there, we've got it. Okay. No, not okay. This also copied my video, meaning I'm getting the wrong part of the video placed above the continuation of the video, which is not at all what I wanted. Plus, I have my piano sketch on top there and perhaps signature changes or tempo changes or whatever that I might not want to move. Check out what happened to the video here. Whoops. It went back to the beginning because I did the global copy and paste. So let's undo this. The way I would do this is I would go and select all of these tracks that I got up here, which are my sort of global tracks. And then I would have to go and click this lock button on all of them. Lock, 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 etc. Now, again, go to edit, range, global copy, and paste it here. Okay, now let's see how we can do all of that in a way cleaner and easier way with a tablet. I'll undo this. Now, check this out. I have to select these tracks, and all I have to do is press on this lock button that I have created here, and whoop, everything got locked. Now, and this is even easier than what I did before. Say I want to have all of this copied. All I got to do is, after I select the range, I click on copy range. As you can see, it extended the range also up here and applied global copy for the whole thing. Now all I have left to do is press Ctrl V, and voila, nothing has been altered up here. My piano sketch was not overwritten. I don't have a new video overlaid here. Everything is just as it should be, and all of that just with a touch of a button. This is obviously just the tip of the iceberg. You can customize the tablet as much as you want. By the way, the name of the software that I'm using to control Cubase with my tablet is called Touch Portal. I've created a separate video showing how to get started with Touch Portal. It's an extremely affordable app which you can easily download and install and then customize using my tutorial. And I've decided to share my configuration with you guys. So I will have a link in the description for a Touch Portal page that has these exact buttons that I showed and some more buttons that I didn't show here. By the way, you've probably noticed these buttons down here. These are actually buttons that are helping me film this video right now. I press this button and I get this screen, and when I press this button I can show it without my face overlay if I want to show something that's being obstructed there. And here I go back to my camera. This guy will just terminate the recording. I'm not going to press it now. This tablet is supercharging my workflow. You can achieve the same thing with a Stream Deck, which is a dedicated hardware piece that does a similar job, but I've been very happy with Touch Portal. Whichever solution suits you, go for that. Now, before I end the video, as a little bonus, I want to share a little theory behind this composition. Let's just listen to it one more time now with the cello part inside. Okay, the cello is probably way too loud, but this is work in progress. What I wanted to achieve here is a sense of awe and wonder. So the scale that I used was the Lydian mode, because I have a whole video about the Lydian mode, but just as a little bonus, let's take a little look at it. The Lydian mode is just the same as the major mode. So that's our major scale, but the Lydian mode has our fourth note. This is C, D, E, and then instead of F, we got F sharp, G, A, B, C. That F sharp gives a surreal sound, a little less resolution, less concrete, I'd say. And I felt this mode was a great fit for this kind of footage with a fantastic kind of woods with all kinds of magical things like huge hanging clocks in the middle of an abyss. I have a whole video about the Lydian scale. If you haven't watched that, click this video right here. Do you have any cool shortcuts that you use to make your life easier when composing? If you do, please share them, and any questions or comments in the comment section below so we can all learn from each other. If you enjoyed the video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you hit that little bell icon, you will actually get notified when I upload another tutorial like this. Well, that's it for today. Until next time, goodbye.